What up brothers, it's the Clipper King returning for another new review for my channel on the figure we see in front of us. As you can see, it's the Marty McFly from Back to the Future by Hot Toys. As you can see, it is the special edition, so it will include some items that the regular version doesn't, but I'll make those clear when I get to the accessory section. Also, as most of you guys know, particularly the guys that are in the 1/6 scale views and reviews group on Facebook, review time for me means game time for you. Anybody who wants to have a guess at the total score of this figure, get a name check at the end of this video, you're more than willing to do so. Most reviews take me about an hour and a half to film, and I have just posted a picture in this pose on the group, and like I say, if you want to start guessing, that's what the name check will be by the time I finish this video. Also, I'd like to say a massive thank you to Anthony Sang, Budget Stark. Please check out his YouTube channel and subscribe if you haven't already. I think by now most of you have, because I've noticed his subscriptions are really flying up, and respect to him. He does do a lot of work in community, so he does deserve it. Not only does he supply a lot of guys with figures now, but he is also very, very active, and that's for Facebook as well, so respect to him. Like I said in the unboxing, he sent it really fast, and obviously I received it in excellent condition. So massive thanks to Anthony, Budget Stark on YouTube. So, without no more fucking around and bullshitting, I'm going to talk to you about the figure in hand. I'm going to do the full review like I always do, the 7 categories with the full scores. I'll tell you the other things that I've said about the figure and cover my thoughts on it. So by the time the review ends, you know exactly what I think about this figure. So, let's crack on. Right, rolling on to the review proper. And most of the clipettes would know, or the subscribers or regular viewers of my channel, they would know that I recently reviewed the Aragorn figure by ACI, and I did say I classed the Lord of the Rings as one of the greatest movie trilogies. I also went on to name some other trilogies, the original Star Wars, the Godfather trilogy, and also Back to the Future, the trilogy. In this case, in the Godfather case, I'm not a massive fan of the third part of either, but I think the strength of the other two films makes it stand sort of the test of time and rank really highly. I would also probably class the original Indiana Jones trilogy if you take away that Crystal Skull one. So yeah, that just makes that clear how highly I rate it. The first part, which obviously this is what the figure comes from, is still the best, I think. And I watched it recently in the build up to this review, and I always see something new, or always remember certain parts of the film I liked. It could have so easily failed if it had not been written so well and cast so well, and obviously acted so well. But it done. It's still good. It's still a good family film. Everybody can watch it. I remember watching it actually when it came out in '85 and not fully understanding it. So I've gone back to this film and I've probably seen it 10 times since. The more I watch it, the more I like it, I suppose. And it could have so easily failed. It could have turned into a teeny bopper style film, like some of the other films we've seen where people trade places, or I don't know, certain time travel. I'm thinking about films like that. Is it 8 going on 18 or 18 going on 30 or some shit like that, vice versa, and films of that nature. But it really works. It's so clever. The fact that when you see things in the film, particularly when he's in the past, and what relevance that is to when you've already seen him sort of in present day, I just think it works really well. And then even leading into the second film, I think it still works really well. So yeah, a top film. Most of you guys who are interested in watching this review will already rank this film highly anyway, so it won't be no surprise to tell you on the source material I'm giving it a 5 out of 5. There's probably a lot more things I could say about the trilogy and this film in particular, but it would make the hour-long review that nobody really wants to watch. So I'll just show you the pose before we move on. As you can see, I've got him with the video camera in hand, looking at his watch, just in a pretty much in upright position, just to get things started. Quickly covering packaging because there's not a lot to talk about. First thing you notice, like I said earlier, it is the special edition, so it does have the chrome sticker. Some of yours might not have that, depending on the version that you've decided to pick up. This is a new release one, obviously from Hong Kong, like I've stated. You see the bright bold font on the front with the Back to the Future, and then moving down, the DeLorean in the distance with the 2 tracks of fire coming behind. The Out of Time license plate or reg plate if you're in England, and obviously the name Marty McFly. It is just a shoebox design using good quality cardboard. Artwork's pretty limited, not even no point showing you what's on the back. I will just show you the inlay slip. And as you see, it has the credits at the bottom, the dashboard of the DeLorean, with the dial set to 88, obviously the point where time travel happens, and in the distance the point where time travel begins, I suppose. I don't know, the artwork is pretty steady, but it's not going to win no eye-catching awards, but it does house the figure safely, so I am just going to give it a 3 out of 5. Moving on to likeness, so the strength of the head sculpt. But before I do that, let me just stop, give me cock a nice long stroke, and tell you that I know what you're thinking. You're looking at pose and thinking, fuck off, Clipper, you fucking evil genius. How the fuck you done that? You know I've done it. New goblin stand. Use it all the time, because it's best. Just got him in that audition pose. Got his guitar over his shoulder. Huey Lewis in audience. Plays him a few fucking bars off her Power of Love. You don't like it. Sorry boys, you're just too darn loud. You know that pose, it's fucking beautiful. Anyway, let me stop yanking my own love length. Right, head sculpt. I said yesterday when I unboxed it that I'd seen the production shots and I thought, yep, looks pretty good or good enough. I'm happy to own that figure. I saw the blogger shots last week and I started thinking, fuck, it's not been released as good as I hoped. There were one in particular, and I don't know if it were how the camera had shot it or the angle it were from, but it looked very, very egg-headed. It made the top of the head look too narrow and the bottom look too wide. I don't know if it was just the angle he got it from or what. I don't know. Then I looked at a couple of others, and again, sometimes the upper lip looks like it stands away from the face a little bit too much. He's got that expression on his face, which I will say 90% of film he has got, so it is a pretty iconic look for him. It's just a look of bewilderment or disbelief or whatever. I started thinking, is it because he's got no teeth inside the mouth sculpt that he looks a little bit dumb? I couldn't really decide. These are all from the shots, remember. Yesterday when I received it in hand, it definitely better than I expected, and I hate that, and I'm going to do it because I've got to. There's no other term I can use. When people say camera does it no justice, it's one of the most overused cliches ever, particularly in reviewing, because it's just a lie saying, I wish it looked better to you because it looks better to me, and it is a statement of fact, but I just hate the term. It's like you're subtly lying to people watching. It's like saying it's good, believe me. My camera's not good enough to show you, but believe me, it's good. So I hate using it, but it is definitely the case with this figure. He's definitely better in hand. Is it perfect? No, I wouldn't lie and tell you it is. The eyes on this are very, very glossy, which in turn, I think, and my missus said straight away, because it's one of them likenesses I thought, yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. I'm not sure the hair's correct. The expression, I don't know, is a little bit limiting. But there's just something, just a tiny bit off. And I said to my missus, what do you think? She says, it looks to me like he's got cold and he's getting ready to sneeze. And I thought, yeah, she's probably right, because his eyes look like they're welling up and he's sort of got an expression on his face where some angles you look. Do you know when you're building up to sneeze, that bit where you go, that first bit, it does have an expression of that, and I can't get away from it now she said it. And I hope I don't put that in your minds and you start thinking, yeah, he does, he looks like he's fucking made up with cold, bless him. But that's how it does look to me. I understand why they went with this expression, because like I said, looking back over the stills from the film and at the film itself, he is, and he would be, if you think about it, most things he sees or the experiences he's going through are pretty much blowing his mind, which is why he has, like I said, the bewilderment look on his face. And I think it is the iconic sculpt to go for. Overnight on Facebook, a lot of people were saying it should have a second sculpt. I don't mind people saying that and giving their opinion, but go further and tell us what that second sculpt should be, because I'd struggle to think of it. All I could come up with, where sometimes it looks like he's more like the sun's in his eyes and he's sort of squinting. That's maybe a look. You wouldn't want him outright smiling, because again, that would be very limiting. So I don't know. Don't do things in half measures. If you're gonna make a statement and say, yeah, there should be a second sculpt, show us what that second sculpt should be, and then tell us what you would use that sculpt for. I'm glad that this was the sculpt. Like I said, it's not 100% perfect, but it is definitely better in hand than it is in pictures. I'll give you plenty of looks at it. It's one of the nitpicks I alluded to as well, which I might as well cover now, and I'll come back to when I talk about the body. I've sort of gone off the idea of the split just below the ear between the neck and the head. This has it, and I don't understand why, because it's not like you would want massive head articulation on it. So I wish they'd have sculpted the head and neck together, which would have got rid of that messy join. That were one of my nitpicks. I might as well mention now. It don't kill the likeness at all, but it is something that my eye would drawn straight towards. But yeah, all in all, I'm more than happy with it. I'm not going to give it the perfect 5 because, like I said, that would be me telling you it's perfect and it's as good as some of the recent figures we've had, namely likes of Wolverine. I'm thinking there's not a great deal wrong with that. So I'm not going to say that it's as good as that, although it is definitely the best Marty McFly that money can buy at the moment. I know there is a few customs out there. I think Rayman does one, not seen it in hand, so I'm not going to slate it too much. But if you wanted the best Marty McFly available now, this is definitely it. I hope that makes my thoughts clear so I don't have to answer no comments on what do you think of the head sculpt and what do you think of the lightness. I've pretty much said it. Let me just show you that pose. Let me just move round. Look at that. He's not even strumming. He's got hold at Barlow. He's got fucking... You'll watch that scene from Thing. He starts caning away on that and he starts... I don't know, starts ripping track up. And Huey Lewis don't like it. He's like, fucking stop there. You're killing me song, Marty. You're not a bad player, sure. I'll give you credit for that. But you're just fucking ripping all over it. So, one leg straight. He's fucking dipping that knee in Elvis style. Beautiful. I will say as well at this point, collars up, boys. Don't lay your collars down. Hot Toys left them like that. But express your saying, get them collars up because it's the right thing to do. And Uncle Clipper told you. But for scores... I'm going to give it a very strong 4 out of 5. Rolling on to the outfit, and I might as well start off and tell you that this is a really strong category for this figure. I think they've captured it really well. I think the detail is really good. A couple of little niggles, so let's get into them. As we get down to his feet, you see he's wearing the Nike. I think they're the Nike Cortez, really popular in the 80s, and then so they had a bit of a revival late 90s into the 2000s. These ones would be white, obviously, with the red swoosh on the sides, on the outer side and the inner side. Although down to licensing, that can't happen. I will say at this point, I think I've seen some decals that you can buy on eBay, and also I understand Joe Turner, who makes the decals in the UK. He can also do the stickers for that, and also for the video camera, the JVC logo. So if you do want that and it's something that really bothers you, you can do that, or you could paint them on yourself depending how good you are. Moving up, the jeans. Now, I like what they've done, although I feel that the colour is just off, because a couple of the stills that I looked at, the jeans are a little shade darker than the lighter section of the denim jacket, so I think it is just a little bit off. I think they're a darker jean but with more of a fade in them. Also, the fit of them makes me realise something that puts me off this figure, and I'll come back to that in a minute. But the work they've done is really good. You see at the top they do have the stick-on sort of button effect, which I don't know, they look good, but you know it's not staying on there long term. There is a spare set of those, so you can replace it. Underneath that, it does have the black braces, which is accurate. You can see the checked shirt, white with the sort of black check in it. Underneath that, the red t-shirt. And then on top of that, it does has the two-tone denim jacket, which is done again really well. The inlay or the lining is accurate. And as you see on his left breast, you see he does have the 3 pins on there. Art of Revolution, and sort of the guitar, and then this triangular one which kind of looks like a plectrum. I'm not sure what it actually is. So yeah, it does look good. Moving down, he has the watch, which is quite detailed for the scale, and he is also wearing the backpack, so I'll mention it. I will show you it from the other side when I get around to the accessories, but again, good fabric bag, works really well, hangs quite nicely. In this pose you see he's got the headphones just draped around his neck, leading down to the 80s style Walkman cassette, which he's holding, and then he's holding his skateboard, which you wouldn't really class as an outfit. I think that the scale is really good in general. I'll tell you the thing I don't like. The jeans, or not the jeans, but there's something I noticed about the jeans. Out the box, the jeans are really pulled up really high, so they barely touch the trainer or sneaker, whatever you want to call it, depending where you are. So I'm constantly hutching them down, which leads me to notice something else. This figure, the body it uses, I think to make it shorter, they've actually just shortened the length of the leg between the ankle and the knee, because it's there now. The knee has 2 points of articulation, the upper section and the lower. If you just bend the lower, which is what a lot of posers do, which I think is wrong, I think you should bend the knee at the upper portion. If you were to just bend that, that is the length of the lower leg, which, if you take that into the full body proportions, I think it's wrong. But I don't know if it's the jeans that makes me notice that, because the knee section just seems too low on it, and I don't know if it's because the jeans ride too high or what it is, but that was one of the other nitpicks that I had. I know it's nothing, I mean, if you look at the figure, all in all, it's nothing too detrimental to it. It's just something that for some reason my eyes caught to. The lower leg is too short. That is what I feel. Getting back to his outfit, what you get is done really well. Like I said, the press studs, I know why they use them, because of the scale, but I've heard some people say that some of theirs have already fell off, so they've got to re-glue them on. You do get some replacements, like I said earlier, but I don't know, should they still fall off? They've been using them long enough. One thing I really do like, and he's not wearing it, is the dude's life preserver. Now, again, they've used this stick-on buttons. Luckily, I haven't lost one, but I think over time I would, like I said. It is quite reminiscent to the Amazing Spider-Man 2 body warmer or gilet or life preserver, whatever you want to call it. It is very, very similar. What I like about this one, and I've not seen anybody mentioning yet, is the fact that it's wired, as you can see. Around the edge, around that edge, and around the sort of all the way up on both sides. As you can see, I'm trying to do it left-handed, but I don't want to pick one of the buttons off. Yeah, as you can see, down the front on both sides, it is wired, so you could have it hang as naturally or as if it's blowing in the breeze or whatever. You'll notice I'm going to do a pose on the skateboard shortly, and there will be movement through the front of the body warmer. So I do like that. A part of the outfit, and you could class it outfit or you could class it an accessory, that I don't like are the shades. I've seen a lot of figures with shades, and I'm more so thinking about the Gangsters Kingdom figures. A lot of them come with shades. Every single pair I've seen are better than these. These are possibly the worst shades I've seen. The paint that's supposed to make them look reflective just looks like a silver wash. It doesn't really look accurate, and also it is just a little bit clumsy and crude looking. Also, because of the sculpt of the hair, they don't fit. I know they're not supposed to. It's just for one of the poses where he's pushing the glasses up so he can look at his watch. That's why they've added them. I'm glad they have, but they could be better quality than that. But I'm not even gonna bring it down on that or the lack of the license for the trainers. I'm still going to give the outfit a 5 out of 5. Rolling on to his articulation, and there's not a great deal I can tell you here that anybody who knows a slim, true type body wouldn't already know. Before we do, let's just back up a minute, yeah? Let's just back up a couple of steps maybe and appreciate that pose. Because I'll say it, you know me, I don't mind fucking hurting some feelings. Fuck them Hong Kong bloggers. If you want to see a figure get pose right, you come and see your Uncle Clipper, yeah? That is beautiful. Look at balance. He's even got his hands spread. Nice balance, crouched down on board. No goblin stand doing all work. That is beautiful. Well done. Moment silence in honour of me. That's long enough. Right. So, as you see, got him in a nice crouch. He's got his weight on the board. He's carrying his video camera or early camcorder, whatever. And he's looking pretty good. Like I've told you, the niggles I've got with the body are just the split between the head and the neck. The length of the lower leg, again, I do, when I bend the knee, it's always at the upper section first. So try and keep into like the knee into the lower leg, try and keep that straight as possible. Only really bend it, obviously this one, because that's a deep curl, I'd bend it to the full extent on the top joint and then a little bit on the bottom, because that way you get a more natural looking leg bend. Like you see on that one, that's sort of a right angle bend and it's looking pretty good. So good articulation through the ankles into the feet, which obviously you would need because of the balancing on the board. Up through the waist, good kick forward and back, splits, everything through the legs, rotation at the upper thigh, waist rotation up into an ab crunch, which is there, good articulation lower neck and upper neck, Shoulders were very tight coming out the box, and they are very fragile feeling, so be steady with it to start with. Maybe even do what I did. I took off the body warmer, the jacket, the shirt, the t-shirt, just have a proper look at the joints. I don't want to start moving this figure around and snapping some shoulder joints, because I've done it in the past and it's not a good feeling. So yeah, be steady at first until you warm the joints through. Good articulation through the elbows. The hand swap on and off really nicely, although on the right wrist, the wrist peg is a little bit messy looking. It's very hard to disguise it because of the length of the jacket. On the left hand, it doesn't matter too much because the watcher's there. Not much more I can tell you. There's nothing I've tried to get it do that it won't do. Obviously, because it is a good body, but like I said, be extra careful with the shoulder mechanism, because there is sort of inner workings where the shoulder will rotate forward and it will like open the shoulders out, so to speak. I will say as well, I'm looking through viewfinder, and at that angle, I think that is Michael J. Fox through and through. And another thing I will say, and I've noticed this, I'd not even really picked up on it before I even did the likeness, so I'm sort of doing a bit of a backtrack. When you're a distance away from this figure, so anywhere there, and I hope this sort of demonstrates it, it looks 100% Michael J. Fox. Whenever I walk into this bedroom, which is where it's been displayed since I unboxed it, you're not even in question at a distance like that. It just looks 100%. It's only really when you get in close, or really close, and like I said before, this is an HD camera at about 1.5 inches away. This is when you start seeing that there's maybe little details on the face, or the eyes are that bit too glossy, like I've said. But like I said then, when I got it there, I don't think that's far wrong. And I'd like to know your point. If you put in comments and you pick up on, put the time that we are in the review, obviously I don't know it because I film it in pieces, just tell me if you think that on certain shots it does look 100% Michael J. Fox, because I did give it a 4. The more I've worked with it, I'm seeing that it's not as far off as I was thinking it were. But anyway, I digress at that, and I'm going to stand by the score I give it. But the articulation, like I said, I haven't tried to do anything that it won't do, so therefore I've got to give it the perfect 5 out of 5. Moving on to his extras and accessories, what does he bring? Just want to show you the post first, so as we move up, you see he's got him skidding on the back of the board. Nothing used to hold the board to his feet, it's just trapped in place by the back foot or the right foot. He's got the weight on that which holds the board up, and then he just plants his front foot there. Obviously it's held in place, the figure's weight is on the new Goblin stand. I think the dynamic stand would also do that, so if it's a case that the stand that comes with it don't really work for it, I understand that. I don't understand why they've given us the waist grab stand again. Probably so it will do that, but the base just isn't big enough. Talking about the stand, that is the only stand you get. As you see, Back to the Future logo with Marty McFly on the nameplate. Looking at what the figure is wearing, as I've said, you've got the headphones. The Walkman is in the denim jacket pocket, I will show you that shortly. The camcorder, which is really well done, minus the JVC logos. Like I say, you can buy stickers from Joe Turner for those. Really well done, really good for the scale, and very accurate to what I remember from the movie. And down, obviously you've got the board with the good paintwork underneath. The wheels with sort of the dirt mark where it's been obviously rolled on. See if we can see it. There is some graphics on the top of the board also, which are nice. The shades, which I said are more an accessory than a part of the outfits. He doesn't really wear them as such, although because of the iconic pose you would need them in there, so you do get those. Instruction manual, which just basically tells you which hand holds what, nothing really to it, and how to put the strap on the guitar. Talking about the guitar, this is the exclusive, the special version, or the limited edition version, whatever they want to call it. Basically means it comes with a guitar. The regular version doesn't bring it. It is from the scene from the Pinhead's audition, and it is accurate from that scene. I will say, I think that's called the fret arm. I could be wrong. I'm not 100% sure on guitars. I will say that does move, and it also comes out on this one, although I can't get it out left-handed. I don't know if it's supposed to do that, but it does. It's not broken, it just comes in and out of the hole. The red strap, which you just clip on, really easy to do. The guitar, really detailed, as you can hear. Listen, that was a bit of Power of Love for you, that. Did you hear it? Let me do it again for you. That's how fucking special I am. Listen. Wait, oh. Did you get it? A fucking chart topper. Fucking hell, that's left-handed, that, no. That's index finger on my left hand, and it sounded identical. I'm just fucking about. Anyway, the relaxed right and left hand, nice soft pliable hands, they do pop on and off really nicely. The hand for holding stuff, or the gripping hands, a spread left hand, a left hand for holding the board, the right hand for holding the board, and then another left hand which will hold the camera, also hold his bag, so on and so forth. Moving down, save the clock tower, the flyer. It is all printed, it does look good, very, very accurate, and a nice touch on the back. I love you, and the phone number. And I tried that number earlier on, and it is now an old woman. So, yeah, I'm not even going to say what I was going to say. But no, that number don't work. It's an American number anyway, so why the fucking hell would I ring it? Anyway, the red backpack or rucksack, whatever you want to call it, working zips. It is padded out. The straps, it does have two straps, although for movie accuracy they are taped together. It will sort of hang over the skateboard wheels. It does look the part. Stays on his shoulder really well. Little tip for bags, and I use it on my Gangsters Kingdom bags. If you find that they're a little bit floaty, like that one, if it's a little bit floaty, it's not hanging right, what you do is you shove some 2p pieces down into the bag so it pulls on the rope and it gives that appearance of weight. Little trick for you. If it were a case that this weren't hanging down his back rake, chuck some 2p inside and the weight it'll pull it down. It'll look fucking beautiful. Anyway, some wrist pegs and some little press studs that you can put on should yours fall off, and they probably will fall off. So, pretty fully loaded. I can't give it the 5, obviously, because there's no second head sculpt, and I'm not even going to say it necessitates a second head sculpt. I think the first head sculpt is good enough. It's not perfect, like I've said. Certain angles it's really, really, really good. Other angles it looks a little bit off, but I don't think it warranted another head sculpt. My biggest nitpick in the accessories, either they should have put a better stand in, which would have allowed him to do what the new Goblin stand's doing for me. They didn't include that. And also, I just wish there'd have been some metal and magnet going on between the shoes and the board, just so you could get a little bit more dynamic with the posing while he's skateboarding. So that would be my only nitpick as far as the accessories go. I just wish they would have done that. But all in all, it's pretty good, and at the price point, if you get it from the right place, I think it's more than enough. If I were to think about it and take away the guitar, then it would come down a little bit, but on the version I've bought, on the extras and accessories, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. And before I move on, just wanted to show you the Walkman. It's nicely detailed, look pretty good, very similar to the Star-Lord one, the buttons on top. And I will say the wire on this one there's a tiny hole right at the top where you can see the cable is wire, so it is posable, and it does just slot into that tiny hole on top. It came out when I was taking it out of the pocket and I thought, is that broke? But it's not, it does fit back in, as you can see. Moving on to the headphones. Nice detail, and like I said, they'll go around the neck and look really good. Right, final category, the value, and then I'll sum it all up and we'll look at the comments. If you want to get it at its best price, obviously buy local. So I'm thinking about Wyman at 16 Bruce. That will be the best price you're going to get. If you can get it sort of 150 and lower, then your value would be 5 out of 5, because I think it's that good a figure. That's the price tag it warrants. I paid a little bit over that, obviously, to Anthony. And I'm not going to tell you the exact amount, because I never do, because it's not fair on him and it's not fair on me. I did pay less than 200, I will say that. So the price I got it for, I'm going to give it a 4 on this one because I think it is a really good figure for the money. So I'm going to give it a 4 on the value I got. If you're paying 200, 210, 220 and upwards, I think this exclusive, the price will go through the roof. If you can get one now for around them prices, I think it's probably going to be about the right price, because I think this version might go up because of the guitar. Your pose options sort of double, so to speak. But if you are paying that, then obviously your value score comes down. Like I say, I always score the figure I've got in hand, so I'm giving mine a 4 out of 5. If you're paying 200 and up, then you would bring your value down to a 3, maybe even a 2, depending on how much you pay for it. So it's not a categoric answer, but I can only tell you the one that I've bought. But like I say, that gives the figure a total of 30 out of a possible 35. Let's just look at that pose, because I think I've fucking hit it out at park again. Probably have. He's just thrown his skateboard down. He's jumping on. You can see momentum without him moving. He's still got hold of camcorder. And he's looking fucking beautiful. Sing along with champ. You all know I'm going to say it. You should have been saying it with me. Just to point out, the waistcoat, or the body warmer, the gilet, the fucking life preserver, whatever you want to call it. Like I say, it is wired. So that also shows motion. It will hold in that position. That is looking fresh. Like I've said as well, bear in mind, I know I marked the likeness a 4, but the more time I've spent with it and the different angles I've seen it from, the different poses, people say it won't work in certain poses, the sculpt. If you can tell me that sculpt didn't fit any of the poses I've done, then I'll probably tell you to fuck off, but I don't know. If you can point out and say, look, it didn't really fit that sculpt, I didn't like it, then fair enough, you're entitled to your opinion. But if you're posing it in a way when the sculpt don't fit your pose, then change your pose. That's what I would say. It's down to the guy doing the poses, not the figure. So yeah, I'd have been tempted to go back and score the likeness up, but I'm sticking with what I initially wrote down and give it a 4 out of 5. Right, let's go to my assistant. In fact, before we do this, let me turn my light off. Here we go. I weren't prepared to segue into this section. But let's do it. Why do I do this? Game time. It just basically to involve you guys. You guys are the person who keeps knocking my views up, keep sending me comments. I don't interact with you as much as I used to do because it's so time consuming. I'm sorry for that, but I still do involve you as much and more so than a lot of reviewers out there. And I think a lot of you guys like this, and I'm judging by the comments, because I've got about fucking 60 odd comments, I think, within an hour. So I am going to go through them and check you guys out. Started the review in that pose, if you remember, and I wrote game time. I'm just about to start filming the Marty review. Anybody correctly guessing the correct score gets a name check. Get your thinking caps on, brothers. As you see there, brothers is spelt correctly. There's somebody down here I've already read spelt it wrong, so I'll point that out when I get to it. So watch out for your names. Only the guys who said 30 out of 35 gets it, but you can see, fucking don't even know. Whoa! Back off, motherfucker. Don't even know how many points it's at. I'm struggling to move this with my left hand. But like I say, it's not in gigawatts. We're talking about fucking review scores. We'll move up. Just check for your names. Check for your names. You're only getting a shout out if you got 30. Let's have a look. Who's got 30? Anybody? Can't get 10 out of 5 on every category. That'd be daft. Here we go. Winner, chicken dinner. Phil Kane. Look at that cool bastard. Fucking beard in hellfire. Looking mean and moody. He's got an old fucking Clipper King on his son. Looks a little bit like, who's that geezer who played fucking King Leonidas? With Gerard Butler. Looks a bit like Gerard Butler in that, and his guest rate. Don't want to talk about it though, he's just put 30. That's all he's put. Don't want to elaborate that, lad. But respect to Phil Kane. Job well done, my friend. Oh, there's some close uns. I'm struggling to get my left arm in this cabinet because I'm so fucking broad. I can't move this on. Let's have a look. Listen, you might want to shout your missus in. Tell your friends at work. Look at me in Clipper's video. Look at my name. Did you get a shout out? Oh no, did I fuck? Why not? Because I'm too fucking stupid. I didn't guess it right. Fucking hell, there's some guesses here, boys, and you're not fucking very... Whoa, here we go. What the fucking hell's this name about? Here you go, that's original. Joker thumbnail. Martin Manic Parks. I'd say a 30, buddy. You're right, buddy, well done. Fucking hell, straight after. Tony Earwalker, 30 out of 35. He's not a dumb fuck. He knows that, lad. Here we go. Fucking hell, here we go. Going into detail. It's worth a mention, this one. Let's have a look. Let's have a look what Chris Jordan... Fuck off, iPhone. Chris Jordan Michaels. What's he said? Let's have a look. That's a 30 out of 35. Smiley face. Head sculpt 3. Wrong. Packaging 3. Correct. Outfit. Well, he's gone fucking wrong. He's gone out of order. Gone out of order. If you're going to quote it, go in order, yeah? We stick to Uncle Clipper's rules, yeah? So it should have been source material. What's he gone for? Source material. He's got that right. Head sculpt's got that wrong. Packaging, he's got that right. Outfit, wrong. Value, wrong. Articulation, correct. Accessories, wrong. But he's still muggled his way through it, although he's got most of it wrong and come up with 30. It just shows you, even a fucking sun shines on a dog's arse some days. What's his thing? Is it Han Solo? Can't be Han Solo. It's got a little goatee. It's not Han Solo. Focus, you bastard. Here we go. That's his little thumbnail. He's had a good try. He managed to fuck every score up, but the jammy bastard landed on 30 out of 35, so he gets his centre mention. I don't have the figure. That's my objective view on the figure. Fucking hell. Considering how much I probably rate it. So I just hate the head sculpt. Fucking hell. Alright, don't come round here, you fucking merchant of doom. Right. Spoke by him. Look at this lad. Thor. Sergio Flores Thor. What a fucking cool name. Let's have a look at his picture. Look at him. He's resting his head on his hand, innit? Is that a pint of fucking... Looks like a pint of Guinness in front of him, is it? I don't think it is. Looks a little bit like Luis Suarez minus the massive teeth. And he's got 30. Well done, pal. Well done. Moving down. Fucking camera struggling to focus. Fucking hell. Fire. I'm in a fucking Nightmare on Elm Street here. Christopher Martinez. He's got it right. Let's have a look at him. Though he looks a clever cunt, doesn't he? Look at him. He's fucking smart, that lad. You can tell. He knows. Next one down, don't though. He's fucked it up. Let's have a look. Focus, bitch. See how that camera does what I tell it to. Voice activated. Yeah, send a few threats its way. Who's this fucking idiot? I'm not mentioning his name, and I'm not even getting close enough for him to be recognised, the fucking idiot. 69. Talking about fucking review scores, not sexual positions. Back away. He's just look at him. They all putting scores in. Listen, if you can't get score 8, I'm not going into fucking detail for you. You can back off. Some close ones though. Read through them if you want. It's all interesting stuff. He's got it wrong. Wrong, wrong, wrong. Wrong, wrong, wrong. Usual suspects. All names I recognise. They're all wrong. They're close, mind. They're close. I'll fucking talk for England, me. Here we go. Mark Padwan. I hope I'm saying that right. What's his picture? I don't know. Looks like he just hit his fucking head on something. I can't even make it out. It's a daft looking picture. Don't work well in the thumbnail. Who's this fucking idiot here? He's got a Marty fucking thumbnail and hasn't even got score 8. I know him. I know that lad. He's a fucking idiot. Mansfield. I think he's from Mansfield. That explains it. Here we go. Damien Lambert. Another winner. Spelt brother wrong. Thick bastard. What's fucking hell's happening here? He wrapped up. Snowy scene here. He looks a little bit like Jesus Christ with some glasses on and hoodie. He's fucking wrapped up. Nice and warm, that lad. And that was 53 minutes ago. Fucking hell, how many comments have I got here? Here we go. Keep going. Roller on. Ian Smith. He's got it right. Always has a turn. He's got it right this time. Well done, Ian. Let's have a look at him. You probably recognise him. Look at him. He's got his Terminator shades on. But he's fucking got a silly hairdo. That's how it looks. And I'm hoping that that's not a fucking Man United t-shirt. Because if it is, I'm going to delete this section of video. It looks like old Man United away shirt. Fuck off, phone. Right. Let's roll on. Fucking 24, you fucking dumb fuck. 24. He spelt brother 8, but he ain't got score 8, so he's not having a name mention. Look at him. Thinks he's smart, chucking a brother on end. Got score wrong. Who the fucking hell's that? 88? Is that to do with 88 mile an hour? I'm seeing where you're going, pal. I'm seeing where you're going. You got it wrong. 3 out of 5. Get a grip, yes. Think about how Uncle Clipper that works. Watch some reviews and you might know. 32. Wrong. And then who's this fucking slick motherfucker at bottom? Rick Bates. Time's up. No more guesses. Got to be strict on that. Well done to the boys who got it right. Massive thanks to Anthony for sending it me. Thanks to all you guys for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this review. It's probably about an hour long, but who gives a fuck? I'm not putting as many videos up as I used to, so I've got to treat you every now and again, or you'll unsubscribe to my channel and you'll go and watch some substandard reviews, and you shouldn't have to do that. Nobody should. Stick with Uncle Clipper and you'll go far. But for now, this is Clipper King and Marty McFly, and we are out of here.